Hello everybody, I am Professor Akhade Kavita, Head of the Department of Dada Patil Mahavidyalay, Karjat. Today we are going to see the Shakespearean play and the title is The Merchant of Venice. So today's topic is Merchant of Venice. This is one dialogue which is from the play itself and it is occurred in whenever we are going to act 4 scene first. Now let us see how many characters are there in the play The Merchant of Venice. First of all, Antonio, who is the merchant of Venice, who is also wealthy and generous man. He is also very friendly nature. He is also kind also. Second man is Bassanio, who is next to the protagonist, Antonio. Bassanio is Antonio's close friend and he is a poor nobleman. Third is Portia. Portia is a wealthy heiress of Count and afterward or in later in the play she becomes the wife of Bassanio and how their marriage is also there in The Merchant of Venice. This character is very much famous throughout the world and who is that character? Guess. He is Shylock. Shylock is the villain of this play, Merchant of Venice. He is also Antonio's arch rival. He is a Jew person, Jew man. He is a money lender known for his selfishness. He is very much commercial and practical minded. Next to Shylock is his daughter, who is completely opposite to Shylock's nature. She is Shylock's daughter. Then Graziano is a friend to Antonio and Bassanio. Means he is the common friend to both Antonio and Bassanio. Next is Nerissa. Nerissa is Graziano's wife and Portia's maid. Duke of Venice, the ruler of the Venice city or Venice town. Then Lorenzo, Antonio's friend. Bassanio needs money. This is when the play starts. In the first act itself, we come to know that Bassanio, who is the co-actor, or you can say who is subliminary, but not he is also equivalent to Antonio. So he needs money for what? Because he wants to marry the wealthy Portia. But for that, he needs 3,000 ducats. So he asks Antonio for aid, means for financial aid. Means Antonio should give him the 3,000 ducats. So he demands the 3,000 ducats from Antonio. Antonio is depressed for no reason. Why? Because he promises to help his friend, but he has no money with him at that time. So both of them, Antonio and Bassanio, they went to Shylock. Antonio's ships are at the sea. They go to Shylock to borrow money. As Shylock is also money lender, like Antonio. Antonio would like to help people, but he is very much, you can say, kind, and he is having helping nature. So for helping, though he gives money to people, he don't demand interest for that. Shylock hates Antonio by heart, but still he allows Antonio and Bassanio to borrow 3,000 ducats, but he gives the terms and condition for that. So they make a contract, and in that contract, Antonio will pay Shylock a pound of flesh if he cannot return the money that is 3,000 ducats within 3 months. Means if he failed to return money within 3 months, then only he has to give Antonio's flesh, 1 pound flesh. So Bassanio is worried, but Antonio agrees to that contract. Bassanio lives with money. So, after getting money on the very same day, Shylock's daughter Jessica, whom he loved a lot, ran away with Lorenzo, one of the Antonio's friends, taking a bag of Shylock's jewels with her. Shylock runs through the streets. He vows revenge. Why? Because his dearly daughter eloped with Lorenzo, who is Antonio's friend. He is later sad that his daughter sold away a jeweled ring he had given her for a monkey. Por, so Bassanio arrives in Portia's town, that is Belmont. So Portia's father had set up a test for Portia's suitors. Means her father wanted that she should get the right person as her husband. And every father has the same wish. So he kept the 3 boxes. Portia's father kept 3 boxes of gold, silver, and lead. In the play, we have the name title for boxes are as a casket. So the Prince of Morocco and Prince of Aragon came to Portia's house as a suitor, but they failed the test. Bassanio, however, succeeds because he knows that appearance hide what a thing truly is. Means he also knows that though external part or appearance most of the time was faulty one or false one. These are 3 boxes, 3 cascades. First is gold one. On that gold casket or gold box, it is written, it is carved. What was that carving? Who chooses me will get what he desires. Second box is of silver, on which this is carved. Who chooses me shall gain what many men desire. These are the quotations which are written, carved on that boxes. And the last third one box is of lead, but it was very simple uh, comparing to these two. You can see that. So on that lead box, it is written that who chooses me will be ready to lose all that he has. The very correct thing which is written on the box means one who is in love no doubt lose everything whatever the person has. The first box gives the message that all that glitters is not gold. Second box, that is silver box, gives the symbol or meaning that there are many fools covered in a silver. Means there are many people in the world who only attracted or impressed by the cover or by the appearance only, external appearance. And the third one, third is actual fact. Who chooses me will be ready to lose that. So in this way, as Bassanio succeeded in the test, he became the husband of Portia, and Bassanio marries Portia. His wife gives him a ring and tells him to keep it. Graziano marries Portia's maid Nerissa, and she gives him a ring as well. Means both of them gives rings to their husband. However, bad news from Venice arrives. What was that bad news? So Antonio's ships have been lost. That was the bad news. Antonio has been taken the court of Venice and has to give Shylock a pound of his flesh, according to the bond, which Shylock has taken from Bassanio and Antonio. Actually, Antonio. He wishes to see Bassanio one last time. Means Antonio's last wish was he wanted to see Bassanio at least one time. Bassanio rushes to Venice with 6,000 ducats to save his friend. At that time, when he hurries to Venice, Bassanio hurries to go to Venice. At the same time, Portia decides to help his friend. So, she dresses herself in a clothes of a judge, a doctor of law, and follows her husband to Venice. Shylock has refused the Bassanio's payment and calls for his 1 pound of flesh. Actually, Shylock decided to kill Antonio in this way with the help of uh, legal, you can say, help. Means according to law or according to the bond, Antonio has to give 1 pound of flesh if he fails to pay the money, and the time is now the same, and that is why, though Bassanio wanted to give him 6,000 ducats, uh, he refused to take it, and he only wanted that justice should be with him. At that time, Portia, now as the judge, came there. The Duke of the Venice and Portia tell Shylock to have mercy. This is a very famous dialogue in the world nowadays. In that day, in those days also, and now also, that mercy, how mercy is the godly gift. So she tells Shylock to have mercy on Antonio and live his life and take money whatever he wanted, double or triple. But he says that he will have nothing except his pound of flesh. Means he has to do with the pound of flesh only and not money. So Portia tells Shylock, the quality of mercy is not strand yet, dropped as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. Very nice poetic words are used by Shakespeare here, and the meaning of that is she expressed and she asked the Shylock to show mercy on Antonio and save his life. But whenever you took this piece of poem or this piece of dialogue, you come to know that it will be a worldly dialogue. It will be the philosophy which is covered in this poem, which tells us that it is God's gift to show mercy on someone, and it is also God's gift on whom the mercy is shown. Means both the giver and taker, both are very, very lucky person and very, very godly person and heavenly. God give the God gives such person a gift. But as we come to know that Shylock refused to take it. So Shylock refuses to have mercy, and Portia grants him his pound of flesh, as he is come to as he has his right to take. It is right thing, or it is the justice given to him, that is pound of flesh. So Shylock became excited. See, a picture is shown there. Antonio is very, in a poor, you can say, sympathetic way. We feel sympathy for Antonio. And Shylock He is ready to kill this person. He take out his knife, he sharpen his knife. However, before he cut Antonio, Portia stops him. Why? According to bond or contract, no doubt pounds of flesh he has to take out from Antonio's body wherever he wants. But Portia tells him that contract said a pound of flesh. Portia tells Shylock, you cannot shed the blood or you will forfeit your life. Means if you drop a single drop of his blood, then it will be the murder, and that is why you will get the punishment. Shylock then says he will take the money whatever Portia wanted to say or whatever Bassanio wanted to give him. But now Portia says it's too late. She also tells Shylock that any person who threatens a Christian life will be sentenced to death. That was the law of that time, life for life. So Antonio shows mercy, but Antonio, as we come to know that earlierly, his characteristics that he was a kind person. So Duke of Venice shows a Shylock mercy and spares his life, but he has to become a Christian. It was the term and condition also. So he has to become a Christian and give half of his money to the state and half of his money to Antonio. Means he has to give all his wealth, he has to distribute all his wealth to half to the state and half to Antonio himself. Antonio says he will give his share of his money back to Shylock. He don't want any money. If he would take Jessica back, means he also keeps the term, condition that Shylock should have take Jessica back to his house as his daughter. Shylock agrees and goes home defeated. There is no alternative in front of Shylock, and that is why he agrees sadly and goes home as he defeated the war. Now the last thing which we could say that it might be added to this play, but it is the part and parcel of the play. And whenever Bassanio asks the price of judge, means how much money he should give or what wealth he should give to the judge. So the young judge, who is actually his wife herself, that is the Portia, but she asked for the ring she gave him. Means Portia, in the disguised young judge, asked Bassanio to give the ring, wedding ring, to her. Bassanio is reluctant. He became sad because it was his wedding ring, but gives it to the judge because he is grateful towards him, as that person was saved his friend's life. Bassanio is reluctant, but he gave the ring to the judge. Nerissa also asked. Now Nerissa was in the disguised, in disguised, you can say, as a assistant to the judge. Means she also came with Portia to Venice. She also demands Graziano's ring. He follows Bassanio, means he also gives, as Bassanio used to give the ring, so he also gives the ring to Nerissa. Happiness complete. Means this is the plot, main plot of the play, that saving of Antonio's life by Bassanio or Bassanio's wife. So this is about the friendship. So Bassanio takes Antonio to his home. Portia asks for the ring, and Bassanio admits he has given it to the judge. who saved his friend. Portia pretends to be angry, but that anger was just apparent. You can say outwards only, external anger. But in the end, confesses that she was the judge there. Means she has taken that ring. She tells Antonio that 3 of his ships had returned safely. It was also good news for Antonio that his ships uh, were very safe. They go and celebrate, means all of them go and celebrate these things. So there are certain themes of this play: prejudice, that is anti-Semitism, appearance versus prejudice is of Shylock's prejudice. Appearance versus worth, it is about the casket which we have already seen, 3 boxes. Appearance could be different to that of the worth. So friendship, that is the friendship between these 2 friends, Antonio and Bassanio. Self-interest versus love, which we could see in Portia. Shylock is the tragic villain in the play The Merchant of Venice. He was misunderstood, the victim of prejudice. Jews were looked down upon in the Christian Europe, it was his prejudice. Self-interest versus love, he does not value money over feelings actually. Why? We come to know that he has prepared or he has made a ring which Portia wanted to give to monkey. Means for him, feelings are precious one. He loves his daughter too much. Does that justify his evil intentions? No, never. Whatever the evil intentions he has, he got the punishment for that. His most speech, his most famous speech, Shylock's most famous speech in the play, which is occurred in Act 3, Scene 1. That is, I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer. As a Christian is, if you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? It is from, this is the speech by Shylock in Act 3, Scene 1. Now these are the questions for assignment. So students, you have to take down these questions and try to write down the home assignment in the home on a plain paper and send it to me on my WhatsApp number, which is you have with you. So first is, who is your favorite character in the play Merchant of Venice? Actually, what is friendship? Means for this question you have to give your own answer, but it should be related to Merchant of Venice and you could give your own opinion also. Did Shylock deserve what happened to him? Was his actions justified? Could you say that it is justified? Do people who don't show mercy deserve it? What is your answer? In the play, we have already get the answer. Why does prejudice exist? Just because of not talk to each other. Just because there is no communication. So prejudice exists. How would you judge a person? Just because of his appearance or just because of his nature? Thank you.